and welcome to Flory Models Daily Show. Here we are on Friday the 7th of October. So this morning what I'm doing, a little bit later, it's actually 11:15. To be honest, I spent the last couple of hours, doing all your emails. Hopefully I've answered everybody. Remember, if you don't get an email response back from me within 2 days, say, shoot it to me again. Sometimes I get buried. Literally, I think we've had, I don't know, well over 50 emails I've had to deal with this morning. So it does take a bit of time, and unfortunately they do tend to drop to the bottom of the pile, because I know somebody said this, my third attempt contacting you. Really sorry as well. If you're non-member, obviously, I know it sounds horrible, but you're not priority. I have to prioritize obviously the members. They're my bosses, so unfortunately I don't. So that's why yours, it took 3 attempts to get to you, but I usually will get to you. Just send it again, and eventually I'll spend a bit of time and I can have a sit down for a good couple of hours and answer all your emails and questions. Right, okay, spray booth. To be honest, I've, in the good American term, reached out to a couple of companies. Now, one of them is probably a little bit overkill. They specialise in real heavy duty stuff, and I've asked them for a more budget version, because trust me, there's thousands of pounds for what I'm thinking of that would fit in here. But I've spoken to them, and I'm waiting to hear back from them. I've spoken to another company and had a phone call with those about it. Again, because of the size, this is the trouble we're having. If you want a spray booth, and let's face it, we've got 2 manufacturers of spray booths down here. We've got the Aircom and we've got the Graphic Air one. Okay, they all do the same thing. They suck it in and pull it out and all the rest of it. But as soon as you start talking about, well, actually I want it to be ideally 150 centimeters, but 120 centimeters long by 60 by 60, all of a sudden they're like, well, that's more industrial. And then you're talking at this one and this one, and you look at them and they're like £3,000, £4,000, in one case £7,000, and like, yeah, but I just need it to suck stuff out, particle filter obviously to stop it, and all the rest of it. So that is the sort of drawback we're getting with it. Now, I have spoken to the guys at Graphic Air. I've shot them an email this morning. Hopefully they'll get back to me, because there is a alternative to this, and this is for me to actually make my own. Okay, so what I'm thinking is either do it in like MDF, or even you know, that plastic foam board stuff, which is usually pretty good, is to make a booth and incorporate 2 of the 300D series ones in there, which are, you know, the ones that I have normally. Now, that would fit in, roughly around about 120 centimeter one, or we go the whole hog and have 3 in there, okay, but then if you have 3 in there, then it's going to be 150, it's going to come right out to here, which isn't a problem, but it might be a little bit overkill of what we're thinking. And I've got to think about the noise, because a couple of the guys have sent me information, you guys, and it's like, you know, this is a great unit, this one does this, does that, but if you look at the decibel reading on them, you know, anything really over, I think the cutoff point is 60 is a no-no. If it's louder than 60 decibels, you can't film with it. It's ridiculous, because it'll just, you know, it kills everything. We do have a system, and I use it all the time. So when we're in the spray booth, in editing, I actually lessen that sound, and it's something we can do quite well, but it's only got a cutoff of around about 60 decibels. If you go above 60, it really has a hard time struggling with it, and you can't hear me when I'm talking and stuff like that. All right, so you do have to think about these things. Again, this is the difference between me doing this in a sort of studio environment with cameras and audio and everything else. It's like great if you don't, because you can just wang it on and away you go. But for me, I have to think about these little things as well. So I'm thinking 3 of them in there, maybe a little bit noisy. And then we've got to think about extraction, how this is going to go out, because obviously the hoses, they've got to go somewhere. I'm thinking they're going to go through the floor, because as I say, there is a void, a huge void under here. There's like an attic, which is just full of junk and not a lot else. And then under there, there's obviously the wall, which goes out to the carport, so I can take them down and out instead of going through the wall. At the moment they go up and out, they can go down and out through the floor. But I have sketched out a rough drawing of it, what I'm thinking of, and I'm thinking we could do it in you know, foam board. It's lightweight, it'll do the job nicely, it's white, it'll reflect, and at the end of the day, the great thing about it is cheap. So over time, when it does get horrible, just replace it and have a new one. So I'm thinking we could probably do that. We can still get the cameras in, everything else like it, and we can then fit into it 2 or 3 of the Graphic Air 300Ds in there, okay, which again, it's a lot of money, but you think they're only 300, and what I've been looking at is in the thousands. So I'm thinking I can extend on what we've got and do it that way. But I want to thank you guys, because loads of you have sent me links, information, various bits and pieces on this. I've had about 10 or 15 this morning that have come in overnight that I've all been and had a look at and everything else. Some of them are great ideas, but boy, are they expensive, you know, and I can't really warrant spending £5,000, £6,000, £7,000 in one case on a spray booth for what I do, when it would just be overkill. Okay, so yeah, there is that to it. A lot of you have mentioned also about manufacturing in aluminium, in 22 gauge alley and all the rest of it. Yes, and as I say, I've got a company next door basically, and that's what they do, and they've done stuff for me in the past, and I could have a word with them, and I'm sure they can whip something up and all the rest of it. But again, the trouble is, if it's in alley, it's, you know, it's just the look. I know it sounds very vain now, but we try and keep things to look nice in here, and having a great big, you know, brushed aluminium thing in here, it's going to look a little bit odd. Okay, so yeah, I'm thinking that we can probably manufacture something. So if we're going to do that, obviously you can join me for the journey, and I'll vlog the entire thing, from picking it up, for drawing it out, from the plans I have for it, the electrics, the lighting, the cameras and everything, and we'll do it all together if you like. So that is the plan. So that's been what I've been doing for the last couple of hours. So we've got this guy, which we spoke about yesterday. A lot of you have asked about the primer. The primer is lacquer based. Yes, you can then obviously clean it out with just lacquer thinners. You just blow a little bit of lacquer thinners through it and it's absolutely fine. To be honest, all I use is self-leveling all the time for everything. It's expensive, but you don't need much of it, and I just flush through, and I find my airbrush really works well with it. And to be honest, what I tend to do is decant out. This is what this is just a little bit of thinners, and I can reuse it then for doing other things, so like cleaning brushes and colour cups separately and lids. So it's not like it goes totally to waste. All right, so yes, this is the guy. He's turned out really nicely. You can see we put the white on, we spoke about it yesterday. So my plan is to spend probably the rest of the morning, couple of hours, and we're going to try and get this pre-shaded. We're going to put a little bit of pre-shading right the way over this, and then get the bottom colour on, because we're going to put the bottom colour on and then we can mask it, and then when we do everything else we can just put it down, everything else. Then we're going to do the camo work. We'll get all of that put on that one, get that done really nicely, get the tail done, looking gorgeous, and then last up we're going to actually do the metals around the back, which, to be honest, we're going to have a go with the MRP metallics range, because I've never used them before. I don't know what they're like, so I'm thinking, in the interest of, like, you know, having a go with these things, it should be a good one to go with. All right, so we're going to try that, but generally we're getting on really well. Okay, so bit of a technical difficulties today. My camera above decided to pack up halfway through spraying this, but the old MRP paint, love this stuff, as you might have guessed. Beautiful finish, everything else so silky smooth. It's rock hard, half as nails, really nice, and you use hardly any. We've used a dribble off the top to do that entire lot, so it is very cost effective, and it dries so very quickly, so I can probably get the next coat of paint on. Fortunately, I've run out of time. I've got orders to do, various bits and pieces, and obviously we've got today's show, but just a bit annoying that camera has packed up like that. A couple of you have mentioned about spray booths we were talking about a little bit earlier. As soon as I get an idea of what I'm going to do and which way we're going to do it, of course I will post it up and I will vlog it and everything else like that. Just at the moment I'm going to wait a couple of days, let everything come back from everybody who I've sort of reached out to, and get some ideas and things like that, and see what it comes of it. Then I will go on. But it's very difficult. A lot of you have asked about, oh, what's your plan, what are you going to do, are you going to get another one? Honestly, I don't know yet. Give us a couple of days, mid next week, something else like that, I'll make a decision and then we'll go for it. But as I say, it's very hard to know what I'm going to do when I'm not sure what equipment we're going to be running in it, and everything else like that. So that's about it for now. I'll catch you all a little bit later on with a new show. Okay, so not the best start with the actual camera failing for an overall shot. To be honest, it's just doing the undercolour down on here, which, to be honest, you can see is all masked up now, so you're not going to see it there at all. But needless to say, the paint works flawlessly. It goes down really, really well. Now, a couple of things I will say though. I've read a few comments on the forum about people saying it's really smelly and it's very dusty and all the rest of it. You're spraying at too high air pressure. I know, I got it wrong as well. When I put the primer down and things like that, you tend to get clouds of it all going round, okay? With lacquer paints, the pigment is a lot finer, which means you can knock back the air pressure and get a lot closer, okay? So actually, when I was putting this bottom bit on down here, it's a shame I couldn't show you, but I have my air pressure down to hardly anything. We didn't have the extractor running on for the first bit. I look around in here and it's absolutely fine. We had no sort of fogging or anything else. Yet when I was doing the primer work, I did. It is this thing of just relearning what you thought you knew, shall we say, because when you're spraying going down with acrylics, I tend to spray a high air pressure. The reason for the high air pressure, it gets rid of the problems you get with stopping and starting and spitting and clogging, because the higher air pressure cleans through the needle and the nozzle and just keeps everything moving really nicely. And that's why I changed or really just developed that type of way of airbrushing, purely for an ease point point of view. So I use a slightly thicker paint so I can spray at higher air pressure. If it's too thin at high air pressure, you get the smidering, and that is where it's gone wrong. Now, a lot of you obviously have watched me over the years and you've seen me airbrush and everything else like that, and it's a case of, right, okay, well, Phil sprays at higher pressure, it works for me. Now perhaps you're doing this thing and you're moving over to, I've moved them now, but something like the MRP paints, which are extremely thin, and you're getting this clouding effect. What in theory you're doing is sending probably 2/3 of your paint into the atmosphere instead of onto your model, purely because it's such a high air pressure. So it's hitting it, it's going onto your model, but also it's going everywhere around it. What you want to do is knock that air pressure back. Remember, airbrushing is like a cone, okay? The higher the air pressure, the more it pushes out. The lower air pressure, the more it's going to shrink back in, okay? Because you can get a lot closer to your model, and because you're closer, it's more on it, okay? So then that way you'll use a hell of a lot less paint, which is something I've learned using the primer. When I first started using the primer, I was treating it like, you know, Stynylrez res or something, and you just spraying it down, great effect and all this shit, but I was using a lot of it. I was going through 2 or 3 color cups to do a model. In theory, it should be nowhere near it. A model this size, I would expect to use no more than 5 mil, okay? Now I've refined it a little bit, and I've changed my way of airbrushing. We are knocking it back a bit. So the air pressure, realistically, as you know, I don't use a gauge to tell me what air pressure, but I'm probably shooting a maximum 7 to 10 psi. You can hear it when I spray it a lot quieter. Instead of it blasting out and the Mac valves open and, you know, sort of hairs on fire, literally now a lot more refined, a lot more closer, more delicate all the way through. Now don't think that this stuff is soft and all the rest of it, because it's as hard as nails once it's dry. It's just that initial thing of retraining your hand, and we said before, it's that sort of, you know, muscle memory thing. You're so used to airbrushing a certain way, you have to almost retrain your mind that says, right, okay, well look, I am going through a lot of paint now. We're tending to sort of, you know, get a lot of fogging in the room and everything else. Why is this happening? Most of it is because it's hitting everywhere and it's just bouncing off and blowing everywhere. Knock that air pressure back and then you'll be absolutely fine with it, and you won't get the smell as much. Also, the smell test, to be honest, you know, this isn't me just singing its praises of lacquers and all the rest of it. I don't think it's as bad as maybe a lot of people are saying. We did it here live. I opened up some guns, some Tamiya, and even we did it with Model Air, and you sniff it, you can smell it. It is the same. It's just, again, I think because there's a lot of it airborne, it makes it smell a lot stronger. Okay, so just retrain yourselves a little bit, guys. Go back to it and think, right, okay, let's knock back the air pressure, and you'll find you can get so close. I was spraying probably 1 inch or 2 inches away and just gently putting it all in, absolutely fine. You might remember back for the first time I used this particular paint was when we did the flanker. I did it totally live, never used it before in anger, put it down on there, and very quickly I learned that actually I can get really close to this, and the closer you are, the better coverage you've got, because instead of being out here and you're spraying it and you're spraying down swathes of it, I can get right in there, and we did a freehand camo job on that guy, no problem whatsoever. But I think it is just that thing. For years, high air pressure, literally balls to the wall, that's get it done and spray it. Everything sounds noisy. Now, I don't know, getting older, just a little bit more refined, spraying more gentle, I'm a lot closer, building it up. I'm actually changing my technique, and I've actually did this, to be honest. On the top here, you can see we've got the camo in this afternoon for the first stage. We've got 2 lots of green to go on this one. And again, I've actually found this is so gorgeously smooth and tight. And it is, I'm making my paint thinner and I'm getting a lot closer to the model. And again, after I've sprayed, I look around, we've got no real smell in here and we've got no fogging at all. Yet before, I think if I was blasting this down, we probably would have done. Again, big thing as well with this one. Afterwards, which is actually off camera, opened up my colour cup, looked in it, and it looked like I hadn't used any paint, yet I've done all of this. Yet I'd knocked up half a colour cup, didn't need to make up as much as that. So from that point of view, it's just that thing of retraining. But I have heard a lot of guys say, oh, you know, it's very smelly and all the rest of it's great, but you need to have an extractor, you've got to have your mask on. Yes, you should have both of those anyway, okay? But I'm just simply saying, for the guys that are finding big plumes of clouds of this stuff floating around their, you know, hobby room afterwards, knock that air pressure back, just have a go with it and just find out. And I say, get yourself a bit of plastic card and just have a go with it. Air pressure right down. You'll be amazed how close you can get to it. Literally, at one point, I was doing some work on, when we was doing the flanker, I am literally almost touching it, putting in the sharpest edge to it, and that's the beauty with it. And also from the point of view, this stuff is not cheap. It's £5 a bottle, it's a 30ml bottle, but it is £5 a bottle, okay? So there's no thinning involved. That's £5 worth in your colour cup, okay? It's not like you think, well, okay, it's 10ml, £2.50, £3 a bottle, but then I'm going to actually double that really, so I'm going to get 20. This is 30ml. Okay, but if you use it wisely and you're a little bit more refined with it, you're going to find you can get right in there, very, very close to your model. Less wastage, less paint, less smell, less dust. Okay, so less in this case is definitely best. So there we go. Anyway, today we've got this guy up with you. To be honest, I haven't managed to do the editing for the rescribing because I ended up spraying this today. But this is up with you. Again, I spoke about it yesterday. It's a shame. There's a few little problems with it, a few little sink marks. The riveting is missing. Either that or whoever did the artwork got it completely wrong. I'm imagining the artwork's correct. So I think you'd have to re-rivet this one if you wanted it to look proper. It's of a good enough scale to re-rivet. So have a look at Rosie the Riveter and all the rest of it, and you could build this one and have a fantastic time with it. It is a very iconic aircraft, and I can see myself actually building this kit. It's not that I'm knocking it, it's just that it's Airfix. Please, let's just take a little bit more care with the molds, with the molding, the sprue layout and everything else like that, and you can come up the ranks. But again, it's just held back by almost schoolboy errors. You know, sink marks in modern day injection molding, really nobody else gets them particularly, but Airfix always seem to get them, you know, and everything else. But there again, it is a Meteor. It's a lovely looking aircraft. Great markings come in the box, and actually it's a pretty good kit once you look past all the small little problems with it. But anyway, the full review is up with you right now. Anyway, now it's time to look around the forum. Okay then guys, so welcome to the forum. Thought we'd have a quick look around here today being Friday. Okay, so start off with Flo. Bless her. She's still with Greg, still making her way round. Absolutely fantastic with this one, going right the way through everywhere. If I just drop this, as you can see, she is making her way round. Fantastic views and stunning scenery as ever, as she makes her way around the national parks around the US. Fantastic, all of those. Have we done this one before? I might have done this one before, just checking. Yeah, this is the bear one. Sorry, she did last week. Hold on, we just need to drop a little bit quicker. Just zoom her down. If you didn't see this last week, that's what she was up to last week. This week she's been down here. Local model hobby shops, that's what we like to see. So Flo having a great time. Look, steal a mini Flo, go for it. Okay, so entering the Badlands National Park. Fantastic, beautiful scenery. Absolutely stunning. And it is that thing now, I wish I'd gone myself. Stuff taking the Flo the bear, I should have done it myself. Okay, so as you say, making our way around some very iconic locations all the way around the US at the moment, as you can see. Remember, if you want Flo to come to you, then just make yourself known in the forum and we'll arrange for her to be sent to you, especially if you've got something going on nearby. So we say sort of air shows and all those types of things, military shows, anything that could be modelling related as well is absolutely fantastic. So there's an Abbott, as I say, drove one of those a couple of years ago, absolutely fantastic. So another beautiful museum visit, which we can all have a gander around. And a Bone, absolutely lovely to see the B1 up there. Great looking aircraft, beautiful stuff. And a B29, absolutely beautiful, fantastic work. Okay, and just gives you a sense of scale of the actual B1, fantastic. The old buff B52, and the engine's at an F100. Back seats of a B1 as well, you don't see that very often. And the cockpit. OED robot. Wing commander's desk from the 1950s, fantastic. And see, look, you can't keep her away from models, she will find a model anyway. That would make a great flight sim. I could have that for my flight simming, that would be fantastic. Seamless intakes, obviously on an F16, very important. Remember guys, if you want to stick stickers to your to Flo's case, knock yourself out, is why I did it. I put a few of ours on there as well. So if you want to stick some on, that would be brilliant. If you've got some local stickers or your company stickers, things like that, just stick them all over the case. It'll be a nice touch for when she comes back as well. Okay, so that's absolutely fantastic. So, having a quick look round in the forum, if we just pop down to the group builds and the various things that are going on at the moment. So, where are we? Here we go. So, the big in Japan, obviously we've got a couple of months left on that. You got to the 18th of December. We've got 225 builds on the go with that one, and we've got 16 finish. Let's have a quick look at these. Okay, first up, we've got Chris Chris has, sorry, dropped to the bottoms because I was looking at it earlier because it is that good. Okay, so well done, Chris. He's doing exactly the same as me. This is the Mitsubishi F1 by Hasegawa 148 scale, and he's done a stunning job on this one. Absolutely fantastic. I must admit, it was the toss-up that I was going to do. I was either doing the markings mine's in now or this one because I do like the black on it. It really makes everything stand out very, very nicely. And as you can see, he's done a great job on the camo work on that right the way through. He's livened up the complete cockpit as well, which really is what it needed, although I didn't. Okay, all right, past that. But again, fantastic work all the way through. Nice photos as well, showing it off. I still think I know what it is now. Well, there's a couple of versions I think it is. One, this is a Phantom cockpit, isn't it? Do you remember they did the Phantom with the without the bars on the front? The late version they did of it. I reckon it's that. But also, if you notice, it looks like it's a three-seater on this one because it looks like there's a canopy there, a Phantom type one there, and another one at the front. I reckon it's just because the Japanese love the sort of, you know, anime type things and stuff like that, and they turned it into a three-seater. Just an idea. Okay, next up, we've got absolutely stunning job on this one. Sorry they dropped to the bottom. It's because I haven't prepped this at all. This is Adrian. Adrian has done probably the finest Gundam kit that I've seen to date. This thing is stunning. I've loved his build, I've loved his work right the way through this one, and anybody who says Gundam isn't modelling, please, I beg to differ. This is just it. Just look at these pictures, the work, the detail, the paint work, making it seamless. Absolutely everything you need to do as a model is in here. Okay, and in that one picture alone, the amount of detail and the build quality and everything that's gone into it is absolutely stunning. It's not easy to make things look flawless, but this is pretty much there. Absolutely gorgeous work all over it. Fantastic. Just the colors, the difference, the vibrancy of it, and everything that goes into this particular build is nothing short of stunning right the way through this one. And as I said, it's a huge monster. This isn't something small. This is standing on my paint one, which I know is a good, I don't know, 10 inches, 9 inches. So that gives you an idea of the scale of this thing. It is massive. Okay, beautiful work on that one. Absolutely fantastic. Pleasure to follow the build as well. Go and have a look at the build on this one, because again, he's done an absolutely stunning job on that one. Okay, what else we got? Sorry, that's the one we just looked at. And okay, so this is David. Just sit to the top. Sorry, David has done fantastic. This is what the Hasegawa 148 Ki-61 or Haiyan. Okay, again, beautiful work. Nice job on the mottling effect on that. Not an easy aircraft to do with the metal, the mottling, but nice work on the chipping, the general weathering over it. Absolutely fantastic. Beautiful work right the way down to the aerials. Gorgeous crystal clear canopy on that one. Beautiful work, so well done to you. And we've got here, this will drop to the bottom as well. Okay, so this is the 112th Tamiya Tech 3 Yamaha YZF 500 by Ross. Ross done a fantastic job on this one. Again, just the quality, the beautiful work with the decals, everything else on these, really nice to see. And this is what was lovely about this particular group build, is that we got a mixture of absolutely everything on it. So we got this one pretty well spot on. Okay, Malcolm. I was talking the other day about I'd like an armoured vehicle for going shopping in. This one would do absolutely fantastic. So this is the Trumpeter Japanese Self-Defense Force Type 82 command post vehicle. Beautiful job on that. That's a beast and a half, isn't it? That's what you need shopping. Absolutely fantastic on that one. Really nice, and nice heavy weathering on it as well with the figures. Looks absolutely fantastic on that one. Really nice job on that. And that's Type 82. Okay, so this is nice. This is, we'll start at the bottom, work our way up. This is the Academy 148th. And it is absolutely fantastic, as you can see. Seamless underneath, seamless jobs, great masking on the front, the details, it's in beautiful markings, all the rest of it. Something really nice about the Japanese stuff, the way they actually do the specialist markings. They really take the time and effort to design good schemes, and again, looking absolutely fantastic. Flawless build, really nice right the way over this one, as you can see, for the 50th anniversary. So as I say, it's the same as the old Bullfrog, isn't it? But obviously it's the Japanese version. So it is the KV-107. So great job on that one, Joe. That is absolutely fantastic. And okay, and last up, as I say, I know that one will drop as well. Okay, so this is Malcolm. Malcolm's done the Haskell 148 scale A6M3 Type 22. Again, heavy duty weathering right the way over this one. Beautiful job on that, really nice. The only thing I will say, and this is only meant to help everyone out, as you know, put a blade over that, just cut those in. Literally, if you put a blade over it, like a knife blade, and just rock it round, okay, pin wash it after it, job done. Everyone's all good. But the thing is, it looks like what it is, which just had a quick sand over the front of the wings, and then obviously you lose the panel line. But you can do it right now, literally just put them in straight over the top, tiny little bit of pin wash over it, and job's done. Absolutely fantastic. But I see it a lot, and it is one of my little bugbears, because I used to be guilty of it as well. I look back over my old work and I see it and it's like, ah, okay. But apart from that, absolutely fantastic. Nice heavy duty weathering on this one right the way over. Faded paint schemes, faded markings right the way through, as you can see. Beautiful work. Well done, mate. That's absolutely fantastic. Right, okay, so what else have we got going on? So the Best of British one, this is ending very, very soon. In fact, it's ending in what, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8 days time? Okay, so it's going to be next week this one's ending, all right? So you got till the 15th of October. I've just finished my Chieftain, I must admit, as you last saw earlier on in the week. So 72 on that one. We've got 29 finished. Okay, so we just have a look just down in here. So what have we got? Ron has just done this fantastic one. So this is the Tackham World War One heavy metal tank. This is the hermaphrodite, which means it's got big guns and small guns. And so obviously the machine guns and the big powder guns on the side. So that's the 1/35th scale. Very nice Photoshop job on that as well. We would never know it's not Photoshop. Fantastic, really nice. Although he does look a bit funny. He looks like he's about to run over him by sort of bricking it. But there we go, really nice job on that one. Something a little bit different, as we can see. So well done. Sorry, did I say who that was? Yeah, sorry, Ron. Well done, Ron. Okay, we've got a Challenger by David. So this is the MBT2. Beautiful work again. Really nice job on this one. Again, it just shows you don't have to go right the way over the top. Nice, simple weathering in here, right the way over this one again. Gives it that just that overall dusty look without having to be, you know, sort of streaking and heavy duty things that stand out. Everything's blended, very nice, and everything else like that. So that is beautiful work, really, really nice. And it's great to see we've got the figure on it as well. Okay, so, and this is the Mark V. Again, this is the Meng 135th Mark V heavy. By Johan, with the mud, the various bits and pieces on this one. Absolutely fantastic, really nice. Again, there's a different way of weathering. This is more, you know, warts and all, right in your face, heavy duty. You can see exactly what's going on here with the mud being flicked up, being dragged over it and everything else. So that's actually a really nice touch on that one. Again, very, very nice. Nice markings. Nice paint job on that one, and generally very nice weathering all over. Everything is weathered together right the way through. Very nice rusting techniques, things like that. Absolutely great. So well done, Johan, on that one. Okay, let's pick one more. Clint. Okay, so Clint's been working. This is the AFE 135th. This is upgraded to the Mark III for the Suez Crisis. Fantastic. He's got his badge. He has the badge. Okay, very nice job on that one, really nice. Again, it's that thing, the difference in the weathering and all the rest of it. Subtle things like sort of, you know, the rusting effect with the exhaust coming through, all the bits like that. Again, it's the subtle ones that stand out and give you that nice look with the heat sort of, you know, sort of rusting its way through the paintwork. Love that effect, that's really nice. Okay, right the way through, that nice dusting effect, just wearing in markings and things like that, and general tracks and all the items is a very nice touch indeed. Fantastic work on that, on a nice simple little base as well, just to set it up. Really, really nice job on that one. So well done, Clint, that's fantastic. Right, so that's just jump out. So anyway, you've literally got a week, just over a week left on that one, guys, so really push through with that one. 72, 29 finished, and we'll get the actual video done for that one. The last one we've got here is the Meet My Metal. Okay, this is a SIG. This is basically natural metal finishes on aircraft, okay, and things like that. So really, this is ending on Christmas Eve, 24th. So you've got a couple of months on this one. Okay, so we've got 43 on the go here. We've got 4 finished. So let's just have a quick look in here. So Malcolm, you are very busy, Malcolm. We've got a beautiful in-flight 172nd. This is the Airfix Vampire. You can see some great little markings on it. Beautiful thing. Right the way through. Again, small and beautiful. And there's our Penny. Well done, Penny. I have to get you in. Okay, where do we got? F100 again. The smaller scales, beautifully done. Very nice on this one. Again, 72nd stuff. So again, this is the Atari one, which I made a Pig Zero this years ago. Okay, so fantastic work on this one right the way through. As you can see, very, very nice with the metal finish right the way over this one. Really nice job on that one. Again, just showing that you don't have to go big to get beautiful details out of these things. Okay, and what do we got? Mark has done, I think we looked at this one, we've been here, but he's done the Mustang. Again, the little baby one. Beautiful work on this one. Very nicely done. Again, just showing that the 72nd scale stuff really is shining through. Okay, and if we just have a look at the last one. Okay, Grant. He has done, we did look at this one because that's why it's dropped to the bottom. We've done this one before. Okay, but we'll have a quick recap. He's done the, again, 72nd scale. What is it with 72nd scale? It's like a mass refund a bit. Okay, so this is the P59 Era Comet. Smoky silver. Okay, fantastic. Beautiful work on that. Again, nice different colours and sheens and shades and all the rest of it. Really just to bring it all to life. Fantastic work. Beautiful work on that one. So okay, well done everybody, some fantastic work in there. Just remember, push through with those builds, get them completed on time, and then obviously the group builds you'll get the medal and the sticker set and usually a little goodie bag and things like that for completing. SIGs, obviously SIGs slightly different. They are just literally for a video at the end and everything else like that. Just a quick reminder guys though, that the group builds and the SIGs, let's not overcomplicate things either. That's not just try and find that one slightly weird item that no one can decide if it qualifies or not, okay? Remember, it is your job as a member to prove that it can qualify to enter a group build. It's not up for the team to decide if it can or can't. You just have to show us that it does. So if it's something that's a little bit left field, it's up to you to give us good and clear information of why it should be allowed into the group build, and not for us then to go around and try and find out if it does or doesn't qualify it, okay? Because it does take up a lot of the time for the team, especially Hans and Steve. They spend their life chasing around trying to see stuff if it qualifies or not. We try and keep this as simple as possible, okay, and try and get as many people involved in the group builds as possibly we can. Obviously though, this isn't a free group build where you can just build whatever you like and enter it. That's the whole point of them being group builds and SIGs. We try and do different things, different times of the year to help everybody out, okay? So everybody can build something. But unfortunately, like everything, there's going to be some group builds and SIGs. Perhaps if you're not into that type of thing, perhaps you're a sci-fi modeler, or perhaps you're a ship modeler or something, you're not going to be able to enter it into that one group build or something else like that. But don't forget, you can always do your own builds. You can put them on the site. You know, obviously they're in the gallery. We'll get them up in the galleries and everything else like that. And we'd love to see your work. So, you know, it is that little thing. We try with all the group builds to get as many people entered as possible, but it is a specific area, and that's what we try and do. And we try and mix and match it around. We've had sci-fi ones in the past that have purely been sci-fi. Then obviously you could turn around and say, well, the figure painters can't do much in there, or, you know, the civilian car guys can't do much in there. But that's the point to it, okay? So every now and again we'll go round. So for the guys who were saying about our latest rounds for next year, well, there's not much sci-fi in it. Well, unfortunately, no, but then the year after we might have tons of it. Or there may be something special in the wings that you can come in, join in with, hint, hint. Okay, so literally, you know, there could be stuff in the wings about sci-fi coming up next year, something extremely big, shall we say. Okay, so there we go. So just keep with it, everybody, keep calm and everything else like that, and then just get on with your builds and make them as good as you can, nice clear photos, as much information as you can, and that'll be absolutely fantastic. So that is it for me this week. I have had a massively busy week. I've managed to get on really well, and for my first time I've almost built a model, I know it doesn't look like it, but from my point of view, in 1 week, because we only started this on Monday, and if I'd have got the rest of the paint on today, we'd have been into decaling, light bit of weathering, and I've done the gear, the wheels are all done and everything else. We could have probably got it all together with another day's work. But that is pretty good going. So this guy will be up with you on Monday. Okay, so expect this one up on Monday. Didn't have time to do the actual rescribing, the editing and everything else, because I have a pile of editing to get through over the weekend and everything else like that. Remember, there is no live show tomorrow morning. You've got it Sunday night instead. So if you're in the UK, I think we're going to be starting. I've got to check with the guys because they want to go earlier than me. But as some as you know, it's Sid's stag do on Saturday night. And it's not near here. I've got to go away for it, and I've got to come back, and I've got to be sober enough to come back. So they're talking about mid-afternoon. I think we're going to have to push it back a little bit. I haven't told them this yet, but to around about 6 o'clock UK time, because otherwise I'm not going to be back unless they want to carry on without me, and I'll come in blurry-eyed and feeling ill, okay, and everything else like that. But it's going to be on Sunday night at some point, okay. We will post it up. I'm going to have a word with the guys tonight, and we'll put it up, and I'll put it up obviously on the main site. It will be in the forum, and it will be on our Facebook page, and obviously it'll stream live on YouTube as well. So it'll be all over the social media and everything else, but it will be earlier 6 o'clock on Sunday. It probably will be 6 o'clock Sunday, and it'll be a couple of hours. And obviously don't forget, because it's the US one, Hans is joining us as well. So it'll be me, Steve and Hans. We're going to be finishing off the dolphins and all things like that. So there we go. That's it from me today. Happy modelling, take care, and I'll catch you all on Sunday night.